Hello, everybody. Hello, Laura. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Judy. Hello, Jeannie. And we'll give everybody now a couple of seconds to get in. Hi, Penny. And hope everybody is good today and you can hear and see us okay. Let us know if you can't. But I'm assuming you can. Hi, Billy.
Hi, Beverly. Kathy, Laura, Judy, Jeannie, Penny. Jeannie?
Jeannie.
Jeannie.
You can't read that?
Yeah.
Jeannie. Jeannie. So, yeah. Oh, hi, Jennifer. We're just waiting here a second or two for other people to come join us. Have a little new technical feature. Audio is great today. Yeah, I did some adjustments, Laura, to that. And I can show you some other adjustments. Hi, Eddie. Hi, Jeannie. Another Jeannie. There's Jeannie, and then there's Jeannie. So I can show you something else here. If I do this, look what happens on the screen. You pop up. So I just figured out how to do this. Saw this on other people's websites or on YouTube channel lives. And yeah, I think this is really cool.
Hi, Eddie.
So make sure you don't have any naked pictures of yourself in your thumbprint. Or have some. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Janice.
Okay, so just play with this. Hey, you want to see your names in lights? And hi, Fidel.
Hi, Fidel.
So you can see if I want to highlight somebody's comment that might keep us on track a little better now that I can pop it up on the screen below. Okay, well, let's get started with today. Just clear this off for now. And okay, so let's start with what Walter's been working on.
I'm still working on your shirt.
And when do we estimate this time?
Maybe next week.
Maybe.
I just got to do the collar and hem it and put the cuffs on and put the buttons on.
Hold it up. There it is. Yeah. But then you're sitting there going on, well, you weren't happy with this one seam or something.
I'm still not happy with the way this thing's sewn up, but
yeah, of course. My shirt, you're not happy with it.
I don't like the fabric either.
Well, you don't like, why? What do you want to look about?
I just don't like the way it feels when I work with it.
Well, it's batik. Well, no, it's not batik.
It is batik.
Is it a batik? It's
yeah, I know.
For a batik.
And I have to be careful which side's which.
Oh.
Because this one has silver highlights on it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
okay. Well, no one can see what you're doing.
It has silver highlights on the outside, like here.
Hi,
but
Marlene.
On the inside, there's no silver highlights, so I have to make sure that. Well, that's not a good example because that part of it has its right side, but it has no silver highlights on this side. So I got to make sure that the silver highlights are on the outside.
Well, Laura says was going to say Stephen's not wearing a Walter Design shirt. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that's true. How come those things are sliding? See if I can adjust that. I'm getting a little cut off on the screen. Oh, there. That's a good spot for it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no. I have to play around with the adjustments here a little bit. Okay. Bear with me. This is new technology. We'll put it between us.
But it's still cutting off.
Yeah, I know. I'm fixing it. Give me a chance. Oops,
no,
second. Okay, just a minute. And then, okay, how do I get that to work that way? I thought I had this all figured out.
It's maybe your, what do you call it, your font?
Could be, but I don't think I can change the font. Just give me a second here. I'll get this figured out. Maybe. supposed to be a way that you can adjust this, but I don't know why it's not letting me. Ah, no, I lost it. Why didn't it? Still on there. It's just buried under here. Ah, technology. Well, I needed people to experiment on it. Oh, come on. All right. It's still not.
No, see, it's getting cut off there.
Yeah, I see that, but I can't. Yeah, so it's fine, but we can't see ourselves then on there. But I suppose that's okay. That doesn't matter. Okay, well, wait, now it's cut off over here. Geez, technology. And then it shuts it off there. Okay, well. Okay. Okay, just bear with me, people. Well, I don't know. Well, we'll have to deal with that. I'll have to another time play with that a little bit more to get the spacing in that right.
I think there's probably something that you can change the font on it. So,
but I don't know what that is, and I don't think if I even right click on it, whether that'll give me. No, that doesn't do anything for me. And if I highlight it, that doesn't do anything either. Okay, anyways, I'm not going to play around with it anymore. It's just the way it is. Okay, so what are people saying here? Love the color. And Laura says, love the color and pattern of the fabric. Yes, I picked out that color, I think. Is it the drape of the fabric, Kathy wants to know, that you're having trouble with?
No. Actually, it doesn't. It's just that it's a batik, and the batik is scrunchier with it. I don't know. I've worked with batiks before. It's the fact that it's hard to tell which side's which, and I don't know. I'm just getting frustrated with it. That's all.
Always gives you a good feeling when someone's making a shirt for you, doesn't it? Oh well. I'm sure you'll get it figured out.
Yeah, I know. I'm fine with it. It's pretty much. I had to pull a couple of seams out and redo it. So.
Hi, Marilyn. So let's see. Eddie says, "Did you guys get buried in the snow the other day?"
No.
Nope.
We only had about a few inches, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Hi, Andy. Yeah, it wasn't like a couple of weeks ago when we got the big drop.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a few feet, and it was quite a lot to handle. But this time, it was a lot less than what we anticipated.
Yeah,
So it's funny, when we got buried a couple of weeks ago, the news media or the forecast was, oh, we're just getting snow, big deal. And then it's like the storm of the century. And then this week, when we were getting snow, it was going to be like the storm of the century, and we got very little. So
yeah. So Kathy's looking forward to spring weather, and Laura says they are in the basement, so it's always cooler down there.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are in the basement. And Patsy says, "Hello, everyone. Doesn't look or sound like I've missed too much. I don't know if we're supposed to be insulted by that or what." Well, Patsy, la-di-da. And I just put your message up so I can see that. So be careful what you say. Nah, just joking. Yeah, Laura says, I think it's the default font. Can't change it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that too. But I think I can make it fit a little better. There is a way I can fiddle, but I don't want to fiddle with it now because I may lose everybody when I'm doing that. So I won't worry about that right now.
Yeah, we're sitting in the basement. It's a little cooler down here, but it's not that cold. I just decided to keep my t-shirt on and put a sweater on over top. So.
Billy says they've got a lot of ice there. Trees are broken everywhere. Okay. We haven't had that. Actually, today is, what's it like out?
It's actually not bad. It's
one.
-1. It's sunny outside. It's melting a little bit.
Well, my watch says it's 1, period. Above.
Oh,
one above 0. So
It was -1 a few minutes ago, but
Oh, well,
anyway.
whatever, it fluctuates. But, you know, it's winter, it's Canada. Okay, so what have I been working on? Well, lots of things. So let's just switch over and we'll go to the screen. So, what are these? These are blocks. A gnome, it started with the gnome in the middle. Then I decided to look for a block I could make that looks like a cat. And then I found a butterfly block. And these are all stolen. But, well, they're not really. They were up for grabs. They're free kind of things. And so I made 4 of each of these, and I'm putting them together into a quilt. So this was the first stage of the quilt with the gnomes. Now, I've added more to this today, but and I'll show it to you in a second because I have it hung up sort of behind me. I'm not quite finished it yet. But I made these flying geese. That's what the triangles are with the sawtooth star in the center. And you'll notice that I've got a theme going here. I'm using some butterfly fabric as well because I've got butterflies. And, you know, I love butterfly fabric. And, oh, before I show you that, let me go to the quilt so far because I've worked on it some more today. And that would be that button. So there in the background, I can't get the whole thing in the frame because it hangs down lower than that, but you can see what I've done with the butterflies and the kitties as well. And I have this yellow border around it. Now I'm going to put a 6-inch butterfly border around that, and then the top is done. Although I did have a little problem with it, that top row with the butterfly and the kitties on it, I put it on upside down, and I didn't realize it until after I got the borders on, so I had to do a partial rip out of the borders on the side, take out that row, turn it the right way, and sew it all back together. Not hard, but annoying. But it's not my usual style for a quilt. I'm just playing around with novelty kind of ideas and that, just to see what it looks like. Make a good kid's quilt, probably, or something like that. But that's as far as I've gotten with that. And I've been making these shelves for 3D things, and I really like these. I've made quite a few of these shelves. They're little hexagon things with a ledge on them, and I just fastened them to the wall with command strips. There's not much weight on these command strips. Supposedly will hold with a hook on them 5 pounds. These weigh like about 2 ounces because they're all like light plastic. But this is going to be my classical art display in behind my surgeon along that wall. I'm just about finished making as many as I want, but I thought they were kind of cool. So that's what I have been up to. And let's see what people are saying. Pat says, nope, just a little late. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's my own pattern. So, Laura, that I'm doing there. It's, I'm just making it up as I go, which is not unlike me. So we'll see how it works out. It's just for fun. Okay, so speaking of just for fun, we hit a milestone with the channel. Hi, Donna. I've been running this channel, not Stephen and Walter Live, but Stephen and Walter Live is part of the channel. You know that I have Bland Designs. That was my original channel, and I started it in about, well, just after I had retired. So it's been 10 years, pretty much. Hard to believe. And I started just to show things that I was making when I was into paper crafting and scrapbooking and all that kind of thing. And then I got this idea one day to do a vlog, just talk about things. And I think my first vlog was a whole 7 minutes long or something like that. That's changed, hasn't it? Don't do 7-minute vlogs anymore, for those of you that watch me, or maybe get speed search through me. I don't know at that. And then I got thinking about, I wanted to get Walter more involved with it. And that's when we came up with Stephen and Walter Live. And if you remember, we used to do Stephen and Walter Live from our kitchen upstairs. And we did it using a iPad at that point and a cell phone. We didn't have any fancy switching equipment. Lighting was always a bit of a pain up there as well. And sound was through a cheapo microphone that was sort of a lapel microphone. It was just plugged into the phone. That was all it was. I think it cost me like $20 for 2 of them or something. And that's how I used to make my Bland Designs videos too. I used to do it all through the iPad and the same kind of microphone. In fact, I think the very first ones I ever made, I just used a built-in microphone in the iPad. And then I got into quilting, so I started to do the Idiot Quilter. And then we branched out to So Chatty. So we just hit a milestone. We just went over 5,000 subscribers. It only took 10 years.
What, not 18 million?
No, not 18 million. No, not 100,000 either. Not 10,000. 5,015 as of today. Woo! Woo! Let the bells ring and the banners fly with that one. But yeah, I'm small potatoes, or we're small potatoes, but I don't care. I mean, the ones that have...
Actually, the one problem that happens if you get too big, then if you do one of these chats, you don't really, you might have too many people watching all at once.
Yeah, well, that's true. And, well...
And it's less personal, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I started this as a hobby, and it was also a chance for me to learn some new technology, because I didn't know anything about doing a live. In fact, the live one I tried many times over. Thanks, Patsy. And I couldn't get it to work, the live with YouTube. And it was hit and miss whether you connected or not in the whole bit. So I gave it up for the longest time. And then, I don't know, then I started going to OBS, which is what we're on now, and that seemed to work better. And there's a bit of a learning curve with OBS as well. But, like today, now I can show if a comment comes up and I want to highlight it for whatever reason. I can do that. So, I mean, we need better equipment. I have lights now. I didn't used to have lights. I used to play around with the overhead lights that you guys can't see that are above us. Because of a track lighting system, and that didn't work out very well. I invested in a much better microphone, a Yeti, because that seems to be what most people that do live YouTube videos use, and it is a good microphone. I guess the next thing is to upgrade cameras, but it's hard to say what to get for a camera, because I don't want to go the route that some of them go to the DSLRs and things like that. I'm not going to get into that. But they're making the webcams better all the time. I mean, the latest one I bought's a really good camera. I'm not using it when you see us here. I use that when I switch over to that camera.
Yeah, because it has a better
focal length.
Focal length, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's right, Patsy. Rome was not built in a day. Judy says you should be proud of 5,000 friends. Yeah. And Am, hi Am. 5,000 is not much, but it feels like you create a nice community. Well, yeah, that's the way I look at it. And let's go back to us. And you want to know something? That was never my intention. The people who have like 100,000 or more spend a lot of time editing their videos. It's a business because they're also monetized. Well, I'm monetized too, and I've told you about that before. But I make about $100. Well, not even that in a month, because Google decided back about 6 months ago that they were going to take 30% of whatever a creator made for income tax, United States income tax. And apparently, as a Canadian, we have a treaty with the United States where we don't have to pay United States tax on this. And I filled out the forms and everything and submitted them to YouTube. And guess what? I'm still paying 30%. So when I make 100 in a month, I get 70. Basically, from it, Canadian dollars. So, woo, big money, yeah. And the only reason I started the monetization in the first place, because it was a way to see what the progress was like. If I wasn't monetized tomorrow, I would still do my videos.
However, it's like it used to be that when you were monetized, the commercials would come up, right?
Yeah.
And if you weren't monetized, commercials wouldn't come up. But now, whether you're
Doesn't matter.
monetized or not, the commercials still come
Yeah,
up.
so I figure leave it monetized. I did think of getting rid of the monetization when YouTube announced that no matter what stage you were at, you were going to get commercials, and I figured, well, screw you then. I might as well get something for it, right? But anyways, that's just, yeah, it's how it goes with creators. But these ones out there like Alex on Curiosity Inc., I wonder how he's paying the taxes. Because that guy on every video has a minimum of 10,000 views in a day, and it goes up from there. He has over 100,000 subscribers. So, I mean, it must be going ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah, Marilyn, what it means is that for every commercial that gets played, you get a small portion of money.
Pennies.
Less than pennies.
Less than pennies, yeah.
Right. So, and it adds up in a month, and then every so often when you build up a certain amount of money, they pay you out that money.
Yeah. It's not much. Marilyn says, though, she says, I don't see any commercials on any of your channels. They're there, but what are you watching it on, Marilyn? Because I often watch YouTube videos on from our Apple TV. And no, we see the commercials there, though.
Yeah, we do.
But
you have it set up so that they don't play all the time, right?
I have it set up so that commercials, like you do have a little bit of a say when the commercials show up. And there's one button that they default it to that says anytime, like during the middle of whatever you're doing. Okay, it will pop up a commercial. I'm sure you've seen that on other YouTube channels where, you know, right in the middle, bang, it comes up.
And you won't see the commercials on live shows until after it gets reposted.
Yeah, the live shows don't show any commercials. It's when it gets reposted afterwards, when it's no longer live, then you'll see the commercials. But I have clicked that button off. So, because I don't like it when I'm watching somebody's video and suddenly there's a commercial comes up in the middle. Yeah. Now, if you watch Curiosity Inc., he doesn't check that button off. He leaves that default. Now, I don't know if you make more money if you leave that button on or not.
I would imagine you do. The more often commercials come up, the more often.
Well, maybe.
But it's annoying when you're watching.
His are extremely annoying because there is a commercial every other minute pops up. And so, you know, no, I'm not doing that. It's just annoying. Marilyn says she's watching on her MacBook. So I imagine they still come up. Well, they may or may not. I don't know.
When you're watching for the replays, or if you're watching a replay or just as regular, unless you unless you pay for YouTube, you should be getting a commercial.
Yeah, you should be seeing
probably at the beginning.
Yeah, probably right at the very beginning. In fact, when I hit, we're watching what you're watching right now. Off to the side here, I have my iPad set up so I can see what you're seeing in real time. Because as you know, I've said before, we're watching this on our computer, the feedback to us. So there is a slight delay there. Then we're watching it on YouTube on another screen, and there's a much longer delay there. And so if I watch it on the iPad, I can see what you see when you see it. So technically, what I'm saying right now, you haven't heard. You will hear it in a few seconds from us, but I'm done with it. We're in the future now. It's time shifting. It's hard to explain how this works, but that's how it works. There's a time delay. I guess in case we say anything unsightly or we have a costume malfunction and your right boob falls out. And no one wants to see that. I can tell you that. But anyways, so what was I saying? What we were talking about? The money.
How commercials were coming.
Yeah,
up, some people
all that. And I don't do this as a business. It's fine.
It's a bonus that he gets a little bit of money.
It's a bonus.
It's not like it's supporting us.
No. Like you'll notice I don't have super chat turned on I can turn it on. And if you don't know what Super Chat is where, which I think is kind of stupid, but people seem to buy into it. If you donate money to during a live and the content creator sees it comes up, it puts it to the top of the list of like what we're seeing right now with your comments. It puts you at the top and highlights it. And so it means then if you had an important question or something, I could then highlight it and I'd suddenly stop and drop everything and answer your question because you've given me $5. Or
well, maybe people do that and have thousands of people watching them.
Maybe.
You know, so somebody that's at the bottom of the list wants to answer a question.
I guess. But then some of them just give it, most of them, like on Curiosity Inc., he makes a lot of money. I have watched it and calculated how much he's making in a 45-minute live session. There have been times when he's made over $500. These are donations from viewers for no apparent reason. He's not offering, like, I could see it if someone was offering you valuable advice about how to use your 3D printer or was troubleshooting something or things like that. But, you know, general chit chat, that kind of thing, like what we're doing here, why would anybody give you a tip? Because that's basically what it is. But people do. A lot. I see sometimes people give them as much as $50. I've seen someone give them 100 for nothing. And it's not like he needs the money because he's got a very successful business. If you ever watch Curiosity Inc. Plus right now he's building a brand new home from the ground up.
Yeah, and probably from people that watches YouTube.
Yeah. So I wonder, okay, so that's money he's getting from YouTube as well as having the commercials and everything. Mm-hmm. I wonder how much he's paying in income tax to the United States government because he's Canadian.
Yeah.
Or does he have a way to get around that?
I don't know.
Or does he have a way to get that money back? I have no idea. Because he's making big old bucks. But, you know, teach his own. But I don't have it turned on. I don't believe in it. Okay? I think that's just being greedy. Yeah, really. Okay? And this isn't my livelihood. So you'll never see me asking you for money. So rest assured, everything stays as it is. Marilyn says she doesn't have anything premium. So, well, count yourself lucky, yeah. Marilyn, if you're not seeing them. So, because they're annoying. Patsy says, hey, it's 3 meters of, the money, 3 meters fat. Yeah, really. Yeah, it is. It's 3 meters of wide back fabric. If it's 100, yeah, kind of a deal. So anyways, you won't see that. So that was my channel stats. And I think it also told me how many videos I have out there, which I was rather surprised at. I have over 1,200 videos in the 10 years. Yeah, it's hard to believe. But then if you think about it, I make 5 videos a week. And that's why I don't edit. In fact, what was her name? Karen Brown from Just Get It Done Quilts. Her videos are heavily edited. I swear that woman cannot say one sentence without an edit in it. And that's fine. I mean, nothing against Karen if she wants to spend that time, but she was talking about that actually the other day on one of her things that she had up. And she said that for a 20-minute video, she spends 2 hours minimum editing. And I thought, oh God, no, get a life. How do you have time? That's time for quilting. Really. So I'm not going to worry about that. You get what you get. That's the way I look at it. Hi, Debbie. So Craft and Chat. We had that this past week. A few of you were there as well. We've actually grown in numbers. Okay, here we go. When I say grow, it doesn't, some people's channels they would talk about or things to say would be by the hundreds. Mine's by the single digits. But we had 18. Wow. Which was an all-time high on Crafted Chat. So I thought that was pretty good. It doesn't matter how many comments there and whatever. And let you in, I may be doing my first pop-up sew day next Saturday. Don't know for sure yet. Don't hold me to it. I will put out a special announcement on the Friday, just a quickie. So make sure you've got the notifications bell. I sound like one of those people always say, hit the notifications bell, hit the subscribe button, and hit like, because it really helps us out. I don't know if it does or not. I don't know how it helps us out. But anyways, ignore that. I was just being facetious and copying what other people say as creators. But the notification bell is important to get all notifications for the pop-up, because I'll put the notification probably out sometime on Friday, telling you with the Zoom link for it, and anybody that wants to join in at that time can. I'm not going to tell you how long it's going to run for, because I have no idea. If I get bored, I'll turn it off. I don't know yet. And you know, it's next Saturday. Not that I have a busy calendar. Like, it's not like we're getting phone calls from friends just dying to have us over for a COVID dinner or a super spreader, or anything like that. So I don't know, but we'll see. But I just thought, I'll put it out there. I might give it a try. It'll be more of an experiment to see, you know, is this something people want to do or not? Marilyn says, don't change, you guys. You're great the way you are. Thank you. And Patsy says, sorry, I missed craft and chat. Life just gets in the way sometimes. Well, yeah, that's okay, Patsy. I mean, I'm not keeping a record here. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But it was fun, as usual. Good conversation. Learned a few things. Actually, somebody talked. Was it on the craft and chat? Yeah, it was. About an app for your phone for cataloging your books called Book Thing or Library Thing. I think it was Library Thing. And essentially, it works on your phone, works with your camera, and all you do is hold your camera over the scan bar on the back of a book, and bingo, it puts it into your file. And you can set up different directories, categories, and things like that. Where did I put that? Oh, in the library. Yeah, it's called Library Thing. It's free, and it works really well. So, you know, give it a try. I'm watching your videos backwards, Eddie says, and you guys keep getting younger. Yeah, it happens. We also don't have beards. In one of these are our COVID beards, and for me, it's the first time in my life I've ever had a beard.
It's the first time in my life I've ever had a gray beard.
Oh yeah. The last time you had a beard, it was dark. Mm-hmm. But anyways, so Craft and Chat was good. Just had an art journal group meeting. You know, I do that once a month. That was before this today. And again, the creativity out of these group of ladies that are in that group is incredible. It almost makes me want to go back to paper crafting. No, I'm not. I got rid of all that stuff. No, it's a rabbit's hole. But hi, Angel. Yeah, I'm not going back to the paper crafting or stuff like that. But I love seeing what they come up with, because they're always trying new techniques. And one of the ladies, as a little jump ahead here, because I was going to talk a little bit more about this shortly, but one of the ladies is going to do a presentation on the Idiot Quilter Retreat. And she is not a quilter or a sewer. She is a crafter, but she does things in 3 dimensions. She was showing us this Fabergé egg-like thing made out of paper that she's making for Easter. And it's fantastic. So she's agreed to give a little bit of a, not a tutorial per se, but just show you what these creations are like, and talk a little bit about how she goes about making them. So those of you that also do paper crafting, I'm sure this is going to be quite an interest to you. Glenna says, I really enjoyed Craft and Chat. I finished 12 9-patch blocks. I didn't get a heck of a lot done myself, but that's okay. So that was Craft and Chat and the art journaling group. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the retreat. As I said, I have one person lined up to be a speaker. I have 2 people I'm holding out for, I'm waiting for before I announce it. Hello, Fidel. I saw you, Fidel. I want a commitment, Fidel. I know you said you couldn't tell me until February the 20th. All right, I'm waiting. Because I really want you to do a presentation. And then there's the lady that I recently interviewed that's in Edinburgh, Scotland, Kristen Hubert, and I was going to send her an email today because she wanted a couple of days to figure out what she would talk about or whether she could make it or not. I haven't heard back from her, and I have a feeling she's just too busy, which is a shame because I want her to talk about something she used to do as a YouTube channel. I think she started doing this before she got into quilting, and that is upscaling found items, like stuff that people are going to throw out and making art out of them and that. And I thought that might be kind of interesting. And she does this as well for quilting too. She buys bags of scraps from eBay. Apparently, that's one way to get rid of your scraps. People will buy your scraps. Huh. Didn't know that. Personally, I don't want somebody else's scraps. I got enough of my own. I'm not going to pay for them. But apparently, it does. And she buys these up and she makes great-looking quilts with them. She shows these on and talks about them on her YouTube channel called Scrap Fabric Love. But that, I did interview her a couple of weeks ago, and so if you've not seen that interview, it's an interesting one. She is a Canadian, but she lives in Edinburgh. So anyways, I'm waiting to hear from her as well. If anybody within the range of my voice has something they would like to present, it doesn't have to be a long and involved presentation. Something you think a group of people would be interested in. Let me know and we can talk further about it and get it set up. Fidel says, I'm still trying to find out. I didn't even know you worked, Fidel. I thought you were retired. Well, anyways, but I'll wait for you, Fidel, because if you're able to do it, I think it's going to be really enjoyable for a lot of people. Because Fidel, if you don't know, is a quilter as well, and he does wonderful free motion long arm work. It's just absolutely phenomenal. And I hope you're blushing now, Fidel. Yeah. So it would be great to have you. Okay. Speaking of interviews, I did another interview this week with a really fascinating lady. You may have seen it already, Karen Campbell. She's 77 years old, and she's been sewing for many, many years, and she's been quilting for many, many years, but she stopped doing it a while ago, and she's now recently, when she retired, she picked it up again. And she's just such a nice lady to talk to. And it's funny, she's got quite the memory on her. She's telling me about, in 1965, I don't remember what I ate last night for supper, let alone what went on in 1965. Mind you, I was just a young little thing at the time. I was only 8 years old. So you were only 7. That was the year my sister was born, 1965. I remember that. But anyways, if you haven't seen that interview, do check it out. And I've had some requests with a few other people that for interviews, so that's great. And if any of you out there want to get interviewed, let me know. Send me an email, okay? You don't have to be the world's expert about something. In fact, I'm not interested in those people. I'm just interested in ordinary people. And it doesn't have to be about quilting. Okay, so, it can be about whatever. We'll talk. Okay, what's next? Well, we just finished watching the first season of a really strange show called Raised by Wolves. It's a science fiction, and they've just come out with the second season. I heard about this on a YouTube channel I was watching, and what'd you think of it?
It was okay.
I'm still not sure if I really, really liked it or not, but I am curious to see what the second season brings. But it is a little bit weird.
It's somewhat biblical.
Yeah, it's got a lot of allegorical kind of connections to it. It's the English teacher literature degree kicking in when I was watching it about things. But it's not bad. Mm-hmm. It's just a little bit different.
A little off. A little different.
But Fidel says 1965, I was -4. Okay. You're just rubbing it in now.
Oh, he was a 69er.
He's a 69er. Okay, let's not go there. Um, anyways, that's what we've been watching. And we finally had the housewarming for that friend of ours that I made the quilt for. Talking about. So we went over to his place. He's just moved in, so he's still got a lot of boxes and things. And definitely needs drapes, curtains. In fact, we've offered to make him some curtains as well. Gave him the quilt that I made and everything. Got a weird message from him later that after we came home, it was the next day. Something about the cat or whatever. It made it sound like the cat had destroyed the quilt. Now we saw his little kitten, and well, he's not a kitten, he's 12 years old. She. Cute little thing. Scrawny though. It's a skinny little puss. It's not because he doesn't feed it, because the cat's a free feeder, so it always has food in that. But it's a lovey little thing too.
It warmed up to me.
Yeah, like you. It knows that you're not really as fond of cats as I am, although we had one for 13 years. But it was a cute little thing. But he sent me a picture. She's all curled up on top of the quilt. He decided to put the quilt on the back of his couch, kind of a thing. And she's curled up on it. Well, cats and quilts, they love them, you know. So he seemed to be happy with that. And we took him over. We went to the dollar store and just went up and down the aisles and picked up little things like, you know, the kind of things you need when you move into a new place. You know, tea towels, scrubbing stuff, you know, bathroom cleaner, whatever. And put that in a big Dollarama bag and whatnot. That's where we bought it and took that over too. And we took over some Chinese food. Now, the one thing, though, I was a little sad about is I opened up his fridge to put the leftover Chinese food in. And I know he's the kind of person, he can cook. In fact, he worked in a restaurant once many, many years ago as a, you know, kitchen help. He wasn't the chef, but, you know, kind of thing. So he does know how to cook. But I don't think he really necessarily likes to cook for himself. And there's a burger place just around the corner from him. It says they've got really good burgers. And I looked in his fridge and he's got some condiments in there and he had a piece of pork tenderloin. Well, you know, I thought, you're not really getting a lot of nutrition. And I could see as well that he has lost a little weight. He's a fairly large man, like in stature kind of thing. Not like saying like great big huge like fat. He's, you know, over 6 feet tall and he's broad and that kind of thing. And I could see that he had lost a little bit of weight. I'm a little concerned about that. So we used to always get together on Thursday nights back before COVID. And that was usually Walter's gym night. And so Walter was out. So he'd come over and we'd order a pizza or I'd make something to eat. And then we'd go and drink mass quantities of wine in the hot tub and catch up on things. And we stopped that when COVID hit. So we're reinstituting the Thursday night thing, but now it's more or less so I know that he's getting at least one decent meal a week, and I intend to make enough of whatever I make so that I can put it in little Tupperware containers so he can freeze it, you know, take it home kind of a thing. And also in this new apartment he's living in, he's been used to living with his dad for, well, his whole life, basically, and having all the facilities that his dad had, like, you know, washing machine, dryer. Well, now he lives in an apartment building where apparently, and this is how out of it I am, last time I used a commercial washing machine, he has a card that I guess you fill up with money on it, and then I guess to activate the machine, you put the card in or it scans it or whatever, and then when you get low on funds, you put more money on it. So, okay, I'm still back in the days when you used to put coins in. So, and it's like $2 or something a load for the wash, and probably the same to dry. So, you know, you got a couple of loads of laundry, that adds up. And, you know,
Plus you still have to put your detergent in and everything.
Yeah, and everything like that. So I said to him, oh, we've got a crazy Russian on here. Well, we'll just eliminate them real quick. They're Russian robots, apparently. Let's put him on a report. And then unwanted pornography. Well, let's say that it is pornography. And yeah, go out of there and go back here and go bye-bye. Remove. Okay. So, I figured he's coming here anyways. I'm going to have dinner and whatnot. He's here for the evening. Might as well do his laundry here with our stuff too. So, yes, it probably sounds like we're kind of looking after him. We are. He's a good friend. I think he's going to have some adjustments he's going to have to make in this new environment. So we're kind of helping him make the adjustments a little bit, I guess. And besides, it's always good to know somebody that's a little younger than us. We're going to need someone to push me around in a wheelchair. You know, I'll call him up. Laura says, yep, my laundry was by card in university. Very convenient. You see, when I went to university, it's all coin operated machines.
Yeah, well, that's because they didn't have those cards in those days.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, they didn't have computers when I went to university either. So, like, not laptops or iPads or something like that.
So, what, you had to carve on a rock?
Yeah, pretty much. I had a tablet and I had a chisel. That's how I kept my notes. I'm telling you, going to class with carrying all your notes with you was a killer. Yeah, it was a real drag, actually, literally. But yeah, so we're doing this. We're helping him out a little bit. He's got to get a second job. He works at a weed dispensary place right now because, you know, of course, here in Ontario, well, in Canada, it's legal. But he doesn't get a lot of hours, and I don't know how he's affording this apartment. I mean, as apartments go, it's not the Ritz. Like, it's a 1-bedroom, small kitchen. It's a small apartment, but it's over $1,200 a month for that. And he has to pay for hydro on top of that. And it's electric heat, of course, because it's an apartment. And right now, electricity is not cheap. So, yeah. So he's kind of, you know, we got to help him out as far as I'm concerned a little bit. And he's also a proud person. So I'm pretty sure he never watches these videos. So, you know, I don't want to insult his, or, you know, make him feel, what's the term I want? When, you know, if you're a proud person, you know, I don't want to make him feel like this is a charity case. It's not really why I'm doing it. I'm just helping him out. We have the means to be able to, so I figure, why not? Charity starts at home, as far as I'm concerned. So, okay. So,
Laura wants to know how you met him.
Oh, what? Just put that comment up here. You're very kind to help him out. How did you meet him? Did you teach with his dad? I think you said his dad was a teacher. Yeah, his dad was a teacher, but his dad taught in Toronto, not out here where we live. Well, in a suburb of Toronto, Scarborough. And I've only ever met his dad. Actually, I've never met his father.
No.
I never went over to his place. Well, I met him, actually. He's a friend of a friend, kind of a thing. He's also gay to start with too. But he is not out per se, not out to his father. He pretty much figures his father's figured it out over the years.
But he's not somebody that you would, if you met him on the street, you wouldn't think he would be gay.
No, he's not doesn't look anything like the stereotype. He is a big guy. He's rough and tumble. He's very, 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 very smart. But he does have,
He's smart, but he has never been able to apply it. So.
No. I think there are some emotional issues, and they stem back, and I don't know the whole story. When his mother passed away not in the usual way, kind of a thing. Well, she committed suicide. And I have never heard the whole story about that. That's quite a few years ago now. And I know anytime that I ever tried to ask very, you know, cautiously about the situation, he turns right off. You don't go there. So I don't go there. So I know that it is something that still bothers him. And I also think his relationship with his dad is kind of a hate-love relationship. Um, I don't know. It's difficult, but so anyways, he is a very last person you'd ever suspect that might be gay. I can tell you that. He looks like a football player. That's yeah. And he plays war games on his computer all the time. He's into Xbox and all this kind of stuff. In fact, when we were over at his place the other night, he was showing me some of the stuff because we don't have an Xbox. And yeah, I know what they are, but
I've never really been a big game player as
no,
far as that goes.
no, just Candy Crush for you.
Candy
Yeah,
Crush.
I mean, yeah.
That's about it.
You're at what level?
I don't know.
1 billion and
2000
something
and
or
something.
whatever. Yeah. Hi, Dana. Yeah, a little late. Fidel says, I paid about 20 US for electricity every 2 months because I have solar panels. Whoa, well, that's cheap even when you translate into Canadian dollars. We are on sort of a, what do they call it? Fixed, it's not fixed rate, but we pay the same amount every month, regardless whether it's summer or winter or whatever, and it gets adjusted. And we pay $172 a month Canadian for electricity, and we're not electric heat. We have gas heat.
We have gas heat, yeah. So we have gas bill too. So.
Yeah. But we're actually, that's actually cheap because there are people that have kids and everything like that and pay a lot more than that. Supposedly right now we're supposed to be getting a discount, aren't we?
Yeah,
for a few months from the Ontario government. Yeah. I don't think we'll see much of that. So yeah, Fidel, that's cheap.
Hi, Kara.
Oh, hi, Kara. Hi from Illinois. Level pay, yeah, that's equal billing. That's
billing,
what it's
that's
called.
what it's
Equal
called.
billing. Yeah, I was trying
It's
to.
so that we pay the same amount all year round for regardless of our usage. But our usage is pretty constant anyway because we run a hot tub. So that in the wintertime, that usually sucks up all the electricity. And we run an air conditioner in the summer.
Yes. Yeah. So the equal pay works out. Actually, they usually, right now, they owe us money because I keep an accounting of it all the time. And usually, whatever they've estimated our equal billing at is higher than what it actually is, which is okay by me. I don't mind that because then they adjust it every year too. Laura says equal billing payments. I have that too. Yay, Ford will give us $5 back. Yeah, that's about it.
Ford is our Ontario premier. So.
Yeah, not the car company. Oh, just substitute asshole for Ford, and that'll sums it all up. Fidel says, I used to pay $600 for an electric bill every month when I was in Pennsylvania. $600? American?
So were you? Did you have electric heat as well, or?
You must have had electric heat as well, because that's one of the biggies that just eats through everything.
Yeah.
On it. Holy crap! 600. That's phenomenal. I hope you had a good job, Cindy. Hi, Cindy. It's going fine. Cindy, how's it going with you? So yeah, anyways, I figure we've known him for, well, it's going on close to 20 years. So he's more like family. And so, you know, you look after family, right? So we'll probably go out next week too and pick up a few canned goods and that, you know, pantry stuff that you should have and whatnot. Otherwise, he's just going to end up eating ramen noodles and going to the burger place on a regular basis.
I don't know. I know I haven't been living on my own in years. But when I was...
You haven't?
No.
Oh,
when I was living on my own, I always found it difficult to cook for one, so...
Yeah, I had that problem too when I lived on my own as well.
I had a lot of frozen foods and stuff like that I had that was just, you know, one person things.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyways, we do what we can do. And I think I'll let him pick out one of my quilts too, one of the bed size quilts, because the one that I made for him is more of a lap quilt, and yeah, at least he'll have something to keep him warm.
Yeah,
with all
Patsy,
that.
I wonder about that too, but about electric car. But so right now, apparently, from what I've read, electric cars don't use up all that much electricity as far as what you pay compared to gas type of thing. But I would imagine if everybody gets an electric car,
Yeah.
like, we'll be paying a lot more.
And what the ironic part is here in where we live is that, you know, we have one of the world's largest electric power generating stations in Niagara Falls with it, which is supposed to be cheap electricity because
Yeah,
you're
plus we
using
have two nuclear
water.
plants.
Yeah, and we live between two nuclear stations as well. But, you know, it's all that administration and things like that.
Yeah, well, it also costs a lot to build those stupid nuclear plants.
Yeah. So Angel said, "Where did you to Fidel? Where did you live to pay that? You must have been paying the neighbor's bill too."
Middle of the woods, winters were very harsh there.
Out in the sticks. I guess so. But you know, what more can you do? We do what we can do for people we know. So speaking of people we don't know and that we hate, the whiny truckers. Oh my God. Just when you think it couldn't get any more stupid, it does. So you know what I'm talking about, right? The truckers who have decided they had a big convoy. It started out in BC and they drove all the way to Ottawa, and they're basically anti-vaxxers, and they're complaining because the government says you can't do your job going back and forth across the border hauling whatever things we need, like our food and stuff like that, unless you are vaccinated. And the American government has the same policy about crossing the border and everything for truckers, which is fine. And 86% or something of the
Actually,
truckers,
90%.
is it now 90?
Of the truckers, the regular truckers in Canada have been vaccinated. So it's basically 10%. A lot of them seem to be coming from the Western provinces and have a affiliation with a political party that is promoting the Western provinces from exiting from Canada type of thing.
Yeah, they call it Wexit.
Yeah.
You know, like Brexit, but Wexit.
So there's an underlying political movement with that. And they're also attracting the anti-vax movement as well with this as well. So it's not just these truckers, but like the anti-vax movement doesn't seem to, obviously haven't done their research as to who is starting up this trucking thing. And the other thing is that they started a GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
And two of them that were in this was a GoFundMe page, and one of the people of the that had started the GoFundMe page has also been charged with this fraud before. So to my way of thinking, they may have absconded with the money.
Yeah.
But
or planning to.
Or planning to. But the idea was supposedly to pay these truckers out to do the protest.
And give them gas money.
And give them gas money and stuff and accommodations money. But so GoFundMe started looking into it more carefully. They had raised $10 million. And there was no clear evidence as to how they were going to distribute this money. And they had already taken $1 million for their own, the organizers had already taken $1 million from the fund. So GoFundMe had shut them down and said that anybody that donated to this fund could reapply for the money back.
So now, though, they've switched it now. Now, since GoFundMe is not supporting them on this because of their dubious ways, they've got some Christian group in the States.
Yeah, they have a Christian Christian equivalent of GoFundMe in the U.S. that's taking money for their cause.
Yeah, and so it's all not above board at all. I mean, you can smell how much this stinks in the air with it. And any of those truckers that are out there and think that they're going to get any money to
Yeah, now that a
supplement.
lot of these truckers are complaining that they're not going to get any money, that they're going to have to be out of pocket for all of this stuff.
And my
so-
heart bleeds for them. Not. You're just a bunch of stupid, dumb assholes, as far as I'm concerned. You know, if 90% of the truckers have got vaxxed and everything, they're not the ones in this protest.
No.
These are just your what I used to call nuts, sluts, and perverts. I mean, they're just crazy people. And the other thing that's crazy too is some of them have been wearing those Make America Great hats again. Hello, this is Canada.
Well, not only that, there's a fringe area. Some of these people also, like the one guy that I said had a fraud charge, has also been proven to be somewhat of a bigot and a racist. So that doesn't help either. And saying in Ottawa, they've been flying. There's been the odd person carrying a swastika flag, and another one carrying a what do you call it? What's the one that?
Oh, the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
Which neither one are
I think
appropriate.
you
We
were
talked about that last week a little bit.
Yeah.
But the latest thing is this GoFundMe business with them as well. And our prime minister is not talking to them, rightly so.
Yeah, they're all upset because of what they want. What their agenda is they want life to go back to normal. They don't want any more. They don't want any vaccination mandates. They don't want people to wear masks. They want life to go back to normal again, and that they want the current prime minister to step down from his job.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And as prime minister, and they aren't going to stop protesting until that's done. Well, then now they're all upset because nobody from the political parties have talked to them.
Yeah. Well,
with the exception of the Conservative Party.
Yeah, there's been a few of the MPs from the Conservative Party have gone out and mingled in the crowd and talked
which
to them.
is the equivalent to the U.S. Republican Party, I guess. So.
And actually, the leader of their party just got the boot by his caucus. He got voted out, and so they have an interim one in, and she. Well, first of all, it's a woman, and which she won't last because the Conservative Party doesn't like women at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's women in
positions
the
of power.
Conservative Party, but they never end up being in a position of power. Maybe for an interim position of power to make it look like they actually are equal employers. But, and then she was wearing, she has a picture of her wearing a Make America Great Again.
Yeah. You're like,
and she supports the truckers.
Maybe she is blonde. Maybe she doesn't realize that Canada is not states. It's not extra
she's
states
from
of the United
Manitoba,
States.
so-
Oh, well, there. Say no more. Sorry.
No, Dana's not in Manitoba.
No, I know she's not.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah. No. Oh, Dana's going to hit me.
Yeah, I know. So it's a minority group, but they pack a big punch because they drive big trucks.
Yeah.
So
And they think that they're going to cripple the country. Well, they're not.
they've also been in Ottawa. They were harassing paramedics and hospital staff. So
well, though, another thing though, the cops in Ottawa have not been doing a heck of a lot about them. Now, okay, they don't want to get them all round up so that they start to, do something violent or anything like that. But the reports that are coming through, and they have their chief of police, he's been talking, it's been completely ineffectual.
Yeah.
What they're doing at all. Like they started now barricading some roads, like
I
not
still
like the
think
trucks
they
through,
should
but
haul in great big huge speakers and play opera music to all of them all 24/7.
That's what they used to do in the shopping malls in our area to get the teenagers to leave out of them so they wouldn't be hanging around. And you want to know something? It works. In fact, as an aside about that effect, there was one of the teachers in my department years ago. She was teaching drama, and she had a particularly difficult class of kids who thought take drama and meant that you could lay on the floor and do nothing all the time. So in order to control them, she brought in a ghetto blaster. This was back in the 90s. and played what's his name?
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra through the whole period, and it made them do writing exercises instead of doing actual drama exercises. They smartened up real quick. They hated that, and all she had to do was threaten to turn it on if they were misbehaving. She'd go, "My finger's on the button."
I used to work next to a shopping mall.
Hi, Mary.
And they had a lot of problems with kids hanging around in the shopping mall. So what they did was they started playing classical music really loud, especially in the vestibules. And in the shopping mall, they would play classical music really loud. And it stopped the kids from coming.
Yeah. And when did you develop the accent? Shopping mall?
Well, I said shopping mall.
Mall. Repete.
Shopping
Rolls
mall.
off the lips. Put the lips, the tongue, the lips, the tongue, the whatever that is saying is. But yeah, but these guys, these truckers need to be, the government should bring in the military and declare them terrorists, because they're holding the whole city of Ottawa, and they've gone to Quebec City, and they were here in Toronto supposedly.
And not only that, they also have a major border crossing in
out in Alberta
that
they're blocking,
that are blocking trucks from going both ways. So
yeah, like they haven't shut it down completely, but they've reduced it to like a single lane, and they're causing all kinds of problems. Well, okay, I think those could be declared terrorist acts. Showing Nazi flags and the Confederate flag are hate crimes. We do have a human rights constitution, that they could get them in on that and the whole bit. I mean, I know what the government's doing. It's pretty obvious. Justin's not giving in to them. He is not going to go out and pay them any heed. And eventually they're just going to get tired when they see they're not getting the response they want from the government and go away. Well, they'll have to go away soon because they can't afford those hotel rooms. They can't sleep in their trucks.
Well, they can, but...
Well, yeah, but they'd have to run it. They'd have to turn the trucks on.
Yeah, that's true.
And or run battery powered for electric heater, because it's Ottawa.
Yeah.
When it's cold here, it's even colder in Ottawa.
True.
So yeah, too bad. My heart bleeds not for them. Just a joke. And I hope that this is also, not that they'll ever get it, but the anti-vaxxers that are supporting them out there who are equally as stupid, I hope they see that. Well, no, they won't, because they're anti-vaxxers, so they don't understand common sense, so it doesn't matter. Nothing would change them. I don't know. Maybe one of those big trucks could just run them all over and keep on going. Oops, didn't see you. Sorry. Too bad. So sad. Yep. But anyways, yeah, the whiny truck drivers, as far as I'm concerned, they're not long out of the trees. They're just morons. And I'm sorry if there's anybody on here that's related to somebody who's a truck driver, but 90% are vaccinated and doing their jobs and taking responsibility. And they're the good
ones that are 90% vaxxed and everything else. I mean, they must be disheartened. Yeah, that they're seeing this fraction of these truckers making a big deal about it and everything else. And I know if I was in a job that a small percentage was causing problems, I would be all upset too.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's bad for the ones that are actually doing their jobs properly.
Well, down the road, you're going to hear all about this funding and whatnot, and it's going to be, and the two that have organized that thing will have left the country by then, off with their millions of dollars that people donated to. And why people were donating to it, they'd be anti-vaxxers. And now, and
there's
of course,
a lot of Christian groups.
Well, the Christian right too, as well, because God is protecting them. Yeah, well, think about it. God probably created the disease in the first place, if you want to go with that line of thinking. So I think God created this disease to expose the stupid ones out there and kill them. It's kind of a purge.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, there's other sad news on the internet. For those of you that are crafters, you probably know the name Melanie Lane. Melanie Lane is...
Saying it's Melody Lane.
Melanie.
No, it's Melody.
Melody?
Yeah, if you look it up, it's
Melody okay, well,
Lane.
fine. I stand corrected.
Like
always.
Looney Tunes.
It just wouldn't be alive unless Walter corrected me. But anyways, uh, Melanie Lane, by Angel. She is in the hospital.
Melody
Okay, it's
Lane.
Melody Lane. Melody as in a nice song. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Melody Lane. She is biggie in the crafting community, especially with Cricut, the electronic die cutting machine.
She has a lot of YouTube videos and YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, you're right, Cheryl. Walter already corrected me. Okay, so it's fine. But anyways, I noticed that Ken and Sean, they're also big in the crafting community and that kind of thing. And I stopped watching them a long time ago because, quite frankly, Ken is nuts. He's just local for Cocoa Pops. But I saw he had put in a title something about help, sad news about Melody Lane. So, clickbait. I went for it. Well, I watched part of it. I had to turn it off after about 10 minutes once I got the gist of what was happening, is because Ken is in tears. And he does this on a regular basis. And that's one of the reasons I don't watch him, because really? But anyways, apparently Melody Lane and her son are in a hospital in, I think, in Las Vegas area.
Mm-hmm.
And she's on a ventilator, COVID. Now the thing was, I can't find anywhere where it's mentioned that she got it because she was not vaccinated.
Yeah, there's no mention whether she'd been vaccinated
or whatever
not.
about that. And everything. And now, okay, this is going to sound bad. I don't wish anybody, even one of the goddamn truckers that are protesting, I don't wish them to be put in the hospital and put on a ventilator. Okay? And I certainly don't wish that for Melody Lane. However, I don't know how much you know about her, but Melody has regular YouTube channel. She has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, hundreds of thousands of views every video she does. She talks about using the Cricut and shows different projects and things like that. Very, very popular. She lives in what they call the Villages in Florida, which is an upscale retirement community. She has a very nice bungalow there because she has shown pictures of it on her YouTube. She has a Tesla. Okay. Her income comes from making videos and all that kind of stuff, being an affiliate.
Plus she has a Patreon.
She has Patreon subscription, which she has regulars who donate a lot of money to her on a monthly basis. Well, bully for her. This is a business. She's made it work and whole bit. Okay, I have nothing against that whatsoever. But now that she's in the hospital on a ventilator, her sister has started a GoFundMe page for people to donate to help out with her hospital bills. Yes, I realize that in the United States, it'll put you into bankruptcy for just going to see the doctor about like getting 2 stitches, kind of a thing. So being on a ventilator in a hospital, yes, tens of thousands or more dollars, depending on how long she's on this or if she even survives from this. And the whole bit. So I get that. But here's somebody who supposedly is advertising by way of her videos and that she's very, very successful. I mean, it's not like she stands there and brags about it, but the tone is there, the whole bit. And according to Ken, well, she doesn't really have really good health insurance. She has some. Okay, I know sort of what the health insurance situation is in the United States. It's not good, to say the least. It's definitely not like here. But on the other hand, I don't know all the ins and outs of like, what do they cover, what they don't cover, what are the tiers. I guess the more you want to get covered, the more you'd have to pay and all that kind of stuff. But here's a GoFundMe being set up for somebody like this. Now, but the problem I have is much more fundamental. It has nothing to do with how much money she may have or not have, or how successful her business is or not is. Has everything to do with vaccinations. Because they're not saying anything. one way or the other about it. I am sure if she had been vaccinated and she was on a ventilator, that would be right. That would be news. Because we've been told that if you're double vaxxed or triple vaxxed, you've had the booster, that yes, you can still get the disease.
And
but
yeah, you can still end up on a ventilator, but it's not.
It's very rare.
It's likely.
But I would think it would be reported that she's on a ventilator and she's been vaccinated, because one thing, the anti-vaxxers would be right all over that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they would see, doesn't do anything. Why put yourself to that? You don't know what the long-term effects are from the vaccination and all that kind of stuff that they whine about, and all of that. But now, last time we checked your GoFundMe page, she wasn't really making a lot of money.
She was up to 30,000.
Was she up to 30,000? Yeah. Well, given the fact that she has a following that's as huge as she has, I would have thought that would have zoomed up real quick. And
so at 31,970 right now.
And how long has it been going for? Does it tell you?
It's 3 or 4 days. 4 days.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe as people.
Well, their goal is 50,000, so
no,
that 50? Must have something to do with her whatever her health insurance is.
I guess whatever. So I these GoFundMes are. I don't know about them. I know that the GoFundMe thing got into trouble back a couple of years ago or something, but they cleaned up their act a little bit more. Now they do their due diligence.
And they try to, anyway.
Well, they try to. And that's one reason why the truckers aren't getting what they want. I got the hiccups. Yeah, don't know, Cheryl, whether she is or not. That would be interesting to know. And Cheryl says also, she drives a Tesla instead of buying health insurance. Well, okay, that's what I thought too. Where are your priorities?
People probably do stuff like that. They take their chances.
Thing is, too, you said she probably didn't buy the Tesla. She probably leases it.
I think most people lease them. But still, it's still a financial outlay if you lease them. So
yeah, I know. Well, anyways, like I said, I don't wish her bad in this or anything like that. It's just, I think this is another example of people's priorities. And, especially when we're going through all of this, I still have a problem with people taking vacations into other countries or things like that, or going on cruises. It's not over. And I have a real problem with television programs and just like that, talking about the COVID, the pandemic in the past tense.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I generally don't do GoFundMe either.
Yeah, I don't either.
It would really depend on how passionate I would be about the charity, and it would take me quite a bit to be passionate.
Yeah. Well, there's other ways to donate money too to things as well, but GoFundMe seems to be the biggie for all of this, how they set it up. And it's not like GoFundMe's doing this as a completely charitable and free thing.
No, they take a percentage.
They get a percentage of whatever. So it's a business. It was a clever business, whoever came up with that idea.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, her son both drive Teslas. Her son's got COVID too, but at last I heard he wasn't on a ventilator. And they also said, well, the way Ken was talking about it was, well, they both got pneumonia, and then it was COVID.
I have a feeling that
I think it was the other way around.
Or they got pneumonia and then they found out it was COVID.
Yeah, I think that's probably more the case than anything with it. But, anyways, will we ever be over all of this? So, I don't think there's much more to talk about today.
Yeah, well, they're saying now that it's basically going to be something that you're going to have to live with. That every year there's going to be cases of COVID or variation of it.
Yeah.
And we're just going to have to get used to it being around.
Yeah. Now, in the United Kingdom, apparently now they have lifted the mask rule. You don't. It's your choice if you want to wear a mask or not. They're saying.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a little premature. Of course, they've got their own version of Trump over there with what's his name, with Boris.
Yeah.
In fact, he's just a comic version of Trump. He's you watch the comedy shows
Yeah.
on YouTube about it.
Fidel, that would be nice.
What's that? When times are better, I'd love to visit a Canadian quilt show in your area and have the chance to meet you guys. Yeah, we'd love that too. But it's not safe yet. We can't do that. I mean, like Walter said, I think eventually what's going to happen is COVID's not going to go away, but if we get enough boosters and just enough people anti-vaxxed, it'll be like what we get vaxxed for every year for the flu.
Yeah.
We can still get the flu, but we're vaxxed. So if we do get the flu, it's much milder. Yeah, we might be, sick for a couple of days or something, but not anything that drives you into the hospital or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
it's that whole, what do you call it, herd immunity. I mean, the big problem, I guess, with COVID was that nobody had any immunity.
No.
When it first started, and as time is progressing, there's more of a base.
Yeah.
For it to
that herd immunity sort of. It's really
to
not
a point
immunity.
where, like a lot of these lockdowns that we have in Canada and other places, is to keep the hospitals from being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
That's the reason for the lockdowns.
And this should point out to our governments in all the provinces that we our healthcare system needs more money injected to it. It needs to be overhauled in the whole bit. But they all say, oh yes, we're doing that. We're putting this in. We're learning our lesson. When this thing is like,
yeah, I know.
Over,
if it's over or whatever, the same thing will happen as it did because when SARS happened a long time ago, they said, oh, we're all protected. We know all this stuff is. We went through a pandemic once before with SARS.
Yeah.
And they were showing a hospital in Toronto that was geared up for COVID, and it had 12 ICUs in it.
Yeah.
And they said that, oh yeah, we're prepared and all this other stuff. No, they weren't. They weren't prepared. They weren't anywhere close to it.
No, they didn't have a clue with it. But no, anyways, so yeah, it's just, well, you want to know something? We live with something right now. We live with smallpox. We all have smallpox. But everybody in the world, or enough of the world over the years, have been vaccinated for it. But if somebody comes, and this is actually the basis of the Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury, if you know who I'm talking about, when he wrote the Martian Chronicles. In the last part of Martian Chronicles, the Martians are wiped out. The humans get, the Earthlings get to Mars, kind of a thing, and wipe out the entire population because they're not immune to smallpox. And so, because humans were, Martians weren't, so they all died. There's irony there with the whole thing. So this is probably maybe similar. Maybe this is what will happen with this. Who knows? I mean, I'm not a medical doctor or virologist to know the ins and outs of these things. But anyways, so I think we're coming pretty close to our end, but just a couple of things here. One, I already mentioned the possibility of a pop-up sew day next Saturday at some point in the day. If I'm going to have one, I'll give you more details in the Zoom link in a very quick little short video that I'll put up next Friday at some point. So if you're interested, stay tuned for that. Don't forget about the retreat. If you haven't already let me know that you're planning to come, please do. Not that I'm holding you to that. It just gives me an idea of how many I can sort of expect. It gives me some stats. And also, for those of you that have already said that you're coming to the retreat, keep in mind that I would like you to send me a picture of a creation of yours. Doesn't matter whether it's a quilt, scrapbook page, art journaling, sculpture, whatever. Just with your first and last name as well attached to it, so I can create a trunk show, a slideshow of everybody's creations that I can show that day at some point. And of course, on March the 4th, we do have the Icebreaker cocktail party, which will be a live event on Zoom as a kickoff to the retreat. And we had quite a few show up for that as well. And again, this is something where you can just come. It's just social. We're not actually doing any working on anything, but you can if you wish. It'll only run for maybe 2 hours. Maybe we'll play a game or two on there. I haven't decided yet. Bring your favorite beverage and snacky food or whatever. And if you got something you'd like to show us, or you got something you're planning to work on during the retreat and you'd like to show us how far you've got on that or what it is, feel free to do so that night as well. So lots of things coming up. Oh yeah, there's our lovely little robo guy. Well, he can't do any damage and we're about to sign off anyway, so we'll just let him sit there. There's no human attached to it. It's a robot. Whatever, VOR.RE. Oh, that looks like that might be a website of some sort. Well, don't click on that. Okay, so I think that's everything from us today. And hope you guys have a good week. And, oh yeah, one other thing. We're looking for ideas for So Chatty. So, brainstorm with yourself. Put them all into a comment or send them to me as an email, because we're getting desperate for topics. I'm staying awake nights trying to figure out what we're going to have on So Chatty. Walter's not, but occasionally comes up with a good idea with that too. So anyways, okay, that's it. We're done. So we'll see everybody next week. Have a good week, everybody.
Yeah.
Say goodbye, Walter.